Hey guys, welcome to the Woolhead Podcast, presented to you by Betcha. Here's a little sample of what's to come in this episode.
My mantra, especially when I was younger, was just to have no stone left unturned. I used to take real pride in the stat sheet. I'd be like, I want to be the one making the most tackles, and I had to kind of learn that's not a good game for me. We lost, and I was gutted that we lost, gutted not to make the final. But there was a part of me that was relieved the season was over. And I got home and I talked to Soph, and I was not loving it like I used to. And for me, I saw a quote the other day that just summarises this, unhappiness is caused when your expectations don't meet your current reality. Coming into this season, I just got rid of all expectations, and it just unlocked me to actually just enjoy it, be happy with the position I was in, and go back to being that little boy around, he'd do anything to play for the Crusaders. I've got some amazing memories that I'll cherish, and this is only the halfway point of my career, hopefully we go over to Newcastle and kind of make an impact over there.
What a lad, what a lad, what a lad, what an absolute lad.
Well, lad, today I'm joined by one of the toughest workhorses in the game, a man who has built his career on effort, heart, and never taking a backward step. His career started by captaining the New Zealand 20s to a World Cup title, and he has since gone on to become a cornerstone of both the Canterbury NPC side and the Crusaders, winning 6 Super Rugby titles along the way. Whether it's a massive tackle count, winning turnovers, or just leading by example with his incredible work rate, this bloke embodies everything you want in a teammate. He's battled injuries, fought for every start, and manages to front every time the team needs him. Next season, he is Crusaders' loss, but he'll be Newcastle's gain. He's humble, he's tough, and he's an absolute lad. It's one of the greats. Tom Christie, welcome.
It's a heck of a list. I think the one thing that you left off is now I'm part of the elusive What a Lad club. So
you've made it.
That probably goes to the top of the list, I think.
It's official. You're a lad.
Yeah.
But, mate, great to get you on. I had to get you on before you shoot off to Newcastle. A new adventure.
Yeah, how exciting, eh?
Yeah, how'd you get to that decision?
It was obviously a long kind of thought out decision. We obviously wanted to go overseas, kind of umming and ahhing for a while, and then the opportunity came up with Newcastle, and geez, the club's in an exciting point of their kind of history, really. It's a real turning stone for them with Red Bull, the kind of name change and everything, the rebranding that's going on at the moment, and looking forward to getting over there and contributing to that.
Yeah, a few massive signings, yourself included, but they look like they're really looking to turn a few things around.
Yeah, they're forming a hell of a side, so hopefully we can get over there and contribute, really. They're going up against Sarries this weekend, where one of my good mates, Fergus Burke, I would have loved to push his head into the turf, but that'll have to wait till January, I think.
What do you know about Newcastle?
Nothing. Now, there was a show called Geordie Shore, which I used to watch religiously back in the day.
And that's why you've gone.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's a real true showing of Newcastle, but from what we've heard and from speaking to everyone, the people there are just amazing, and that gives me a lot of confidence that going there it'll feel quite homely. My partner So's really excited, and I guess, hearing that the people are good makes me confident that kind of she'll be all right, be able to kind of establish some friends, meet some people, and make the most out of it.
Are you going to take Rocco, your dog?
Nah, he's staying behind.
Oh,
so
really? How are you going to do that?
To leave Mum loves being able to watch my rugby and one of my big supporters, but I had to kind of leave a piece of me at home, and that's going to be the dog for the first couple of years anyway. If he can get over there at some stage, he'll get over there. But at this stage, he's staying with Mum
because it's a 2-year contract, right?
Yeah, 2 years. So we'll see how it's going. Ferg's getting his dog over there at the moment.
Oh,
so
is he?
He can be the trial and error, and if that goes well, then potentially we'll follow suit.
Yeah, I guess he's been a bit of a sounding board for you around what the English Premiership's like and how he's found it.
Yeah, massively, and he's been really on. He's one of my best mates, and he's been really honest around. It took him a while to adjust to kind of their cultures and kind of how they play the game and their teams over there. But equally, he loves it as well, and being in Europe and doing all that kind of stuff while you can still play and play the game that you love is kind of the double-edged sword with it.
Oh, such a cool opportunity to travel away, especially pre-kids, no kids for you. Awesome chance to travel the world and see what Europe's got to offer.
Yeah, you kind of lining up your bye weeks, whereas in New Zealand you might head off to Fiji or Australia. Over there, we're already looking at going to places like Morocco, Spain, and all these fun, but rugby definitely comes first.
Yeah, and I think the rugby will suit you. Like you'll love the English Premiership. 1,000 tackles every weekend, and just turn up in this constant grind of what the Premiership can be.
Yeah, I know. There's definitely, it's very defence suited, and I guess that's where my game has always flourished. And yeah, hopefully can keep growing that attacking side of my game, which we worked so hard on this year, I guess, and that can kind of have a showing over there too.
They're still playing on the AstroTurf?
AstroTurf. So two things about that. Obviously, the positive is it locks your feet in and good for jackling, which I'm really excited about. The negative is that it locks your feet in and can kind of increase the injury rate. So touch wood, but yeah.
Yeah, true. Did you ever think about that when you're over a ball?
Nah, not when I'm over a ball. That's where I'm most confident. If I'm honest, like since having an injury, it took me a while to overcome that hurdle of, am I going to get injured again? Like, but once you get out there and you start playing, you just play.
Yeah.
Like,
was that the big injury in 21?
In 2021,
Yeah.
Like it just takes that moment where you're half an hour before a game in the sheds, you're already nervous about a game, and then it just adds that extra element, I guess. But then you kind of run out, you're inside those white lines, the whistle goes, and you're like, right, what am I into? And everything kind of just goes out the window then.
Well, you play like it, mate. And I obviously had Will Guinea on like a couple of months ago, who spoke around realised potential, and I feel like that sums you up.
Yeah, my I guess mantra, especially when I was younger, was just to have no stone left unturned. Like if I could get to a game day and not play well, which is not what you ever wanted to do, but like if I could then look back and be like, well, I kind of did everything that I wanted to, then I can be at peace with that. If I got through my weeks, kind of left it, oh yeah, no, she'll be right, didn't perform, I'd be like really beaten up around, geez, I just wish I did something. And I guess like when everything's said and done and at the end of the career, I hope to get there with nothing that I wish I had done.
Yeah.
So you kind of just got to live that. And that kind of, I've learned that you have to be smart with it. You can't do everything. You got to like prioritize what's important and be flexible with that, which isn't always the easiest. Like I think when you grow up, you just want to work hard and kind of do everything. But equally now you kind of have to look after yourself, manage yourself, but prioritize what's important.
Yeah. Has that changed through your career, what you've prioritized?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Like even most guys will plan out their week, and I kind of saw it as a negative if I got through a week and I wrote something down in my book and then I didn't end up doing it. And then this year it was like, we might do something really specific in a training drill, and I got that in my plan at the end of training, and it's like, what's the point of redoing that? Like I've already ticked that box, and doing it with the team with a drill where everyone's got that same mindset, you're going to get way more out of it. So it's like I've already ticked that box. I don't need to then go drain my tank even further and then come to Saturday feeling drained because I'm just doing all this extra stuff that I'm not getting any bang out of. So it's, kind of, you've got a energy tank that's at 100. You want it to be 100 on Saturday. You want to take little kind of bits away from that throughout the week, but it's what's important so that on Saturday you can really perform.
Yeah, it's cool. 'Cause the other thing you've done so well is you're always available for games. Like, well, since I've been here 3 years, I don't think you've ever missed a training session even. Like, just consistently you turn up, your body is hardened, like you get through a heap of work, but you're able to front every week. Yeah,
I try. Like I think I'm incredibly lucky, for one, but like I just try and do the basics really well. Like I eat well, I sleep well, like all those little kind of bits of recovery without, like I'm not I've got to ice bath 3 times a week. I've got to do all these like golden tickets. Just kind of try and do the basics, and I think that's kind of what's led to that. Whether it is or whether it is just pure luck, I don't know.
Well, mate, you even influenced Ioane, who obviously came on here and spoke around living with you and how that was probably a big factor in his form last year, where he really exploded onto the scene, but just probably doing those basics a bit better than he was previously.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I can take full credit for that. My partner, Soph at home, she's the rock behind everything. She does all the cooking. She's like, she does a lot of it for me, which
Yeah.
I'm incredibly lucky. So Ioane obviously came to live with me. I kind of just sit on the couch and relax. she looks after most of that stuff. So.
Well, that's the real key, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I am keen to get to your journey as I always am. Christchurch lad, born and bred.
Born down in Gore.
Oh, were you?
But I'm not surprised most people don't know that. Came up here my parents moved up here when I was 18 months old.
Oh, yeah.
And that's probably something that I've kind of just kept to myself.
You don't remember any of your life in Gore?
Nah, I'm pretty grateful that we got out of there. No shade on anyone from Gore. Like, love the place. Still got family down there. But yeah, in terms of rugby, in terms of kind of the person that I am, very grateful that I was brought up in Christchurch.
Why did they move up to Christchurch?
They had a business.
Oh, okay.
So, they had a business, Paper Plus, and kind of saw an opportunity to come up here and make it even bigger than it was down there, was my understanding.
Oh, true. So you grew up around the Paper Plus?
Yeah, I used
lots of books and
lots of magazines. I used to be, I think when I was like 3, 4, I used to sort out the magazine section.
FHM.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was good fun.
Yeah, oh, cool. And what else were you like as a kid?
I just love footy. Like, I just tried everything. Like, sport to me was always like anything. Like all through high school, I was incredibly lucky. Shirley boys were unreal. Like, I'd go play senior A basketball, then go play first 15 in the afternoon. I'd be able to row. Like, they kind of just gave me the rein to do whatever you want. And I know some schools get pretty limiting. Like, they want you to focus on one and do that really, really well. But I just love playing everything and made amazing mates playing everything. Still mates with a lot of those people today, which is great.
And siblings?
Yeah, one older brother.
Is it just you two?
Just us.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, just us. But he's got special needs, so he's 3 years older than me, but he's like a little brother to me, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. Like, the one thing about people with special needs, and he's autistic, is they latch on to one thing. And over, I guess, growing up, it used to be different things. His thing used to be horse racing.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Just love that.
And the Melbourne Cup would roll around, or the New Zealand Trotting Cup, and you'd ask him who's going to win. Unfortunately, I wasn't 18, so I couldn't really have a punt other than through mum, but he'd normally pick the winner.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, his thing's now moved to rugby, so the rugby and the chase.
Oh, yeah.
So he's kind of transitioned out, but geez, if he was still into horse racing, we'd probably make a fair bit of money out of it, so maybe we need to push him back. But
were you guys able to play and stuff in the backyard, or like what did that look like? Were you competing often, or it was too hard?
Probably not as much as kind of other people.
Yeah.
But like, he's still my brother. Like, people kind of look at that as like, we'd still get into fights, like argue with each other, wind each other up.
Yeah.
Do all that stuff. It's probably me heavy. I'll probably initiate most of that stuff rather than him. But like, it's still that brotherly relationship where you're going at each other, you're competing, but there's that undertone, like love and care for each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. I remember like primary school, we were lucky enough to go to the same school. High school, we kind of went apart because he obviously needed that extra care, which he got through. He couldn't really get through Shirley Boys, and he was set up somewhere else. So, but it was cool. It's a unique but really cool relationship.
Yeah, it's cool when he comes into changing rooms. Like, you talk about someone who loves rugby, and you can just see how much he's frothing it. He loves the team song. He dances. The boys all love it, and just his face is just pure happiness.
He doesn't know any of the words, but geez, he gives it max volume. So it adds to the atmosphere
and the dance moves. Like, he's incredible.
I think he took all the dance moves because I'm pretty stiff on the dance floor.
But you said he's playing a bit of rugby now?
Yeah, so he plays in the tri-rugby that's set up and facilitated through High School Old Boys, which is unreal. Like, I went down to their training last night, and like, some of the people, like, the smiles on their faces, the genuine like excitement and care that they have for the game and what rugby gives them, like, that's the awesome part. And there's just an environment where you see it's just so visible. And some of their skill sets, man, like far out. Like we ended up playing a 15-on-15 game, and I was kind of there trying to get my hands on the ball, but they're trying to skip it to other people, and I couldn't really argue because they were making line breaks and stuff. I was like, you guys have it.
How does it work? Like, is there different levels or like?
Yeah, so they've got like a headgear system. There's red, yellow, and black. Black's full noise, and some of them are full noise. There's some that really know how to tackle.
Yeah.
We could kind of have them training out with us, and they'll probably still put shots on. Yellow's kind of like a hold, be a bit more gentle, and then red's pretty much touch.
Oh, yeah.
But even that, like they kind of navigate that really, really well. Like, if we had different headgears on at our trainings, everyone would be like,
we try and do it with a bib. Like the guy in the bib, the non-contact bib gets smoked more than anyone.
Yeah, well, they start it, and then everyone's like, nah, well, we're going to get you back, and then it just goes up and up and up. By the end of the session, someone's come out with, someone's bleeding, and it's no good. But they get that concept really, really well. So it can be done.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to do it through headgears rather than bibs.
We need to get some of our boys down to their sessions to work out how it all works.
Yeah.
Well, that's classic. But then, so your rugby journey, when did that sort of start? Surely, was that when you sort of fell in love, or was it way before that?
Well, I think my first year was playing football, soccer.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't really know it now. I don't really use my feet all that much.
You were clunky on the feet.
Yeah. I think I've kicked more with my left foot in professional games than I have with my right foot, and I am not a left-footed kicker. But just I guess the confidence. I started doing it in the gym, and I was like, right, opportunity comes up, and don't say no. But yeah, and then I switched over to rugby when I was about 4 or 5, and then just loved it ever since. Like, I was fortunate enough that I was a bigger kid at a younger age.
Oh yeah,
which made like you'd score in those when you went into tackle. Like, I was too big for the grade, so you'd score 3 or 4 tries, which was always fun. I remember I had a system. I think it was like $5. It started out $10 a try that I got, and then I was making my parents broke, so it went down to 5, and then might have even gone down to 2. So I was like, bugger.
So were you just a beast at a young age?
But it caught up with me real quick, real quick. So, and that was, but like in terms of loving the game, like it's easy to love the game when you can do that. And then by under 13s, under 14s, everyone had caught up, and it's like, right, I need to actually get good.
Yeah, true. I always envisioned you as like the little guy who was just chopping people around the legs.
Yeah, it was just definitely the opposite, which is weird. But then through school, I think my first 15 at Shirley Boys, we came second to last in my year 11 year. So that's when I kind of first started playing. And that, I guess that's where that came from. Like, we'd spent the whole game on defense. That's just the nature of it. Like,
and were you a 7 always?
6, 7, 8. I was always somewhere around 7. But yeah, so that's where I kind of learned how to tackle, learned the toughness of defense really, and learned to love defense. Like, and that's what it is. And then from there, kind of grow. And I remember when I first started playing Super, I overloved defense. I was like, have the ball, like,
deliberately.
Like, maybe not, but it was like I used to take real pride in real pride in the stat sheet. Like, I'd be like, I want to be the one making the most tackles, and I had to kind of learn that's not a good game for me. Like, I don't need having 25, 30 tackles. That doesn't mean you played well. I kind of thought at the start of my career it did.
So when did that change? Because you're still topping those counts. Surely you're still going for it.
I still love it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I still like that little competitive edge. There's been a couple of games where someone will get me, and I'm like, oh, something's going wrong here.
Yeah.
But like the last couple of years, anyway, it's like I've started to see it as, I'm making heaps of tackles. I'm obviously not getting a lot of turnovers. So it's like, if I can try and get more turnovers, our team's going to spend less time on defense, start to get down your end and score more tries. So yeah, like if I can, now I'm kind of the other way. Like, I want to try and limit it, but have those turnovers to help the team, because that's actually what sets me up for having a good game, or actually contributing to the team, other than just kind of being out there and working.
Were you working hard on your game at this point? Like, were you training hard outside of rugby hours?
Back at school, I was just into everything. Like, I didn't have heaps of like my extras in rugby came through the Crusaders. Like I was really fortunate to come into the pre-academy when I was year 12, I think, which meant coming in here at 6:30 a.m. and doing some real light gym work and then some occasional skills. So I was really fortunate to get into the pathway early, and that kind of provided my rugby stimulus, my growth, kind of learning what those kind of extras were. But certainly when I was in high school, like it was just fill my cup with sport. Like I didn't really have the time to go, I need to put this extra rugby session, because I'd have basketball training or I'd be at rowing or I'd be like doing something else. So it was like just fill my cup up with sport. And I was just lucky enough that the Crusaders kind of provided me that pathway to fill the rugby and to be able to, I guess, put my hard work into something specific. Because otherwise, you're kind of just aimlessly working.
Were you decent at any of those other sports?
Define decent.
Could you have gone pro if you're uncommitted to it?
No way. Basketball I loved, and I actually worked hard at that. Like I was never a good basketball player in terms of like I wasn't a Rasley dribbler, I wasn't like a money shooter. But like I'd turn up to the gym at 5:30, 6 a.m. for our shooting sessions, and there'd be like two of us there. But I was like, I actually want to get like good at this. I'd go out. So we had a basketball hoop at home. I'd go out there for half an hour, but I wouldn't be able to come inside until I made like 5 or 10 free throws in a row. That took me a while.
Well, you still can't even hit the rim in the gym at the moment.
That's the thing. As soon as you stop, it's gone. And I'm in the gym trying to tell these people I actually used to play at a decent level here, but I don't have the game to back it up. And they're like, that is called bullshit. I need to phone a friend and get some proof.
Get some footage.
Yeah. But in terms of going pro, like, or anything close to that, like no way. But it was just a way for me to, I just involve myself, work hard, like attach myself to something. And that's for me is like when I'm, I guess at my best, that's when I'm like happiest, when I'm busy.
Yeah.
Like that's just the way I am. Like even with Soph at home, like we talk about planning a holiday and she's like, right, can we have like a day at the beach? I'm like, no, like I want to be going, like, let's go do something. She's like, we just give me one day, and I'm like, okay.
Active relaxer.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. And so, what was it when you left school? Then rugby became your thing. Did you make New Zealand schools?
Yeah.
Oh,
well, yes.
Surely that's a big effort.
But even like that's an interesting story. Like I never had. It wasn't until the end of my year 11 season where that was a goal for me, because I didn't really even know it was a thing. Like, but my first 15 coach. And it was always a massive driver from that point for me, was at the end of year 11, he's like, I actually think like you work hard, like you could make that New Zealand schools team. And then it gave me it gave me a goal. And that was probably the first time outside of like the boyhood dream of becoming an All Black, like the boyhood dream of becoming a Crusader. But like that's doesn't really feel like a attainable goal. Like that's just a dream. But that was the first time that gave me a goal to like go away and work towards. And that was like a real, I think, a pivotal point for me. Like outside of the Crusaders and getting in that pathway early, that gave me something to really go, right, I want to be there. Like what does it look like for me to get there? But then selection came around, made the camp, didn't make that team. So I made the New Zealand Barbarian schools.
Oh, yeah.
We only had the one fixture against New Zealand schools, played that game. I think New Zealand schools either left one spot or one guy got injured throughout the week, and nothing got named until after that team. But kind of within Barbarians, we knew there was a spot.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was lucky enough to kind of
the wild card.
Get called up. But yeah, even that, like I was a little bit of a grub in school. I got that beat out of me pretty quickly when I started playing first 15. But I think in that New Zealand schools game, I must have been a little bit of a grub or done something. Can't remember what. There'll be allegations out there, I'm sure. So you'll get someone else on the podcast and go, I remember him from that match. But yeah, there was a couple of boys in New Zealand schools that took a couple of days to warm to me because of something, I don't know.
Yeah, from what you did at first 15.
Yeah, what I did at first 15.
What sort of stuff was it like?
No, just
Classic
like,
Dane Coles rubbing the elbow in the face.
yeah,
So-
something like harmless fun, like, like harmless fun, or just like run your mouth. But there was one time, my first 15 game, we were playing Boys High, and they had a massive front row.
Oh, yeah.
And this was when I like back under like 14s, 15s, like I was Dane Coles.
And did you embrace it? Did you like it? Was there?
I did then.
Yeah.
But then this game against Boys High, it must have been like 5 minutes into the game, and I tried it against their front row, and I was like on the ground on my back, and they pretty much 2 of them got up, and they were like, if you try that again, we will like knock you out, and that just knocked it out.
What'd you try?
I can't remember. I must have just pushed their face into the ground or something, and I've just got up, and I was like, this was when I was like a little year 11, like against these big boys, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty fair. And that was kind of my cue to, right, probably don't need to get involved too much in the dark arts of the game.
Where did it start at the start? Like, what sort of inspired you to?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe
the
I just had a little bit of an attitude, or just, you just get carried away in the physicality of the game and start trash talk, and someone will bite back, and you're like, here we go. But I've certainly, that's the old days. That's just memories. I don't try and get too involved in that side of the game, or not at the professional level, because you're always on to the next job.
Yeah, mate, you always seem so in control at the moment. The only time I've seen you really show emotion is when you scored versus the Waratahs, one of the great tries. But you're usually very, very like
there was one part of the game that this year in particular I just wanted to enjoy, like, and actually show a little bit more emotion.
Yeah.
Because like celebrating those little wins in a game, and I don't score many tries, but that was probably one of my better ones. But that
what
was
a try.
That was Severus magic. The kick was actually for KP, but Sevu overcooked it, and I just happened to be in a money
You
spot.
out-sprinted Cole Preston in the 79th minute, mate. Not many can do that.
It's not about sprint speed, it's just about the line. I chose a lazier line, and Sevu overcooked the kick, so it was perfect. But yeah, so I just wanted to celebrate all those little kind of areas of my game, show emotion, like, because there's some stuff that you often like bottle up. Like I used to score a try and be like, right, let's get back to halfway. Like we got something else to do. But yeah, this year was definitely a conscious effort to not be a hot dog, but just kind of enjoy it and show a little bit of that emotion, and like get the fans involved, because the fans have I'm incredibly lucky. Like they've been some of my biggest supporters as well. Like they get behind me after any game, get around me. So that side of it, I've been pretty lucky.
Yeah. What do you think that is? Like, obviously there's a massive respect from the whole sort of rugby community around you. A little bit like what Matt Todd had, like a lot of similarities people say between you two, but like there's so much love for you on the online platforms.
Crusaders love their sevens. Crusaders Canterbury, like they love their sevens. So, and we've got such a rich history. Like Toddy was one of them, and he's one of the greats. Before him, McCaw. Like Crusaders love their sevens. So I'm fortunate enough to wear that jersey, which definitely helps. The other side of it, like I used to go to games at Lancaster Park or the old stadium, and wait for signatures and like do all that. And that's probably one part of my career that I've been really conscious of, like giving back to the fans. And I remember how happy it made me when I was a kid. So we don't necessarily know how happy it makes a kid, but if he goes home and tells his mum or talks to his friends about it for 2 weeks, like that actually makes, like that's the rewarding part of playing. And it's absolutely nothing for us, just a little bit of time or those little moments. But I've always tried to put an emphasis on those, because I think that's like, a real important part of the game.
Geez, you're a lad. That sums you up, mate. Absolutely sums you up. And I'm looking forward to seeing you hot dog a bit more over in the UK. A few tries on the Astro, you'll be doing all sorts of celebrations by then.
I'll be rubbing my elbows and going, geez, I'm not used to this.
You'll be playing in long sleeve skins.
I actually made a joke about that the other day, that no forward should ever play in long sleeve skins. So that can be a clip for you. If I'm running around over on those Astros in long sleeves,
well, don't let Will Jordan sack. He still rinses me for one time I wore long sleeve skins.
Yeah. And you're a back. Back's like,
play on,
yeah,
surely.
Play on. Forwards, nah, you got to be a little bit tougher than long sleeve skins.
Oh, well, going back to your New Zealand schools, you got called in. You're the wild card. Did you play?
Yeah. So we had, I think it was 3 fixtures over there, then so played a couple of those games, and that was a lot of fun. Like that's your kind of first taste of what professional rugby is kind of like, because you're away on tour, you're with your mates, like that's kind of your first taste for it.
Yeah,
and then from there, came in through the Crusaders Academy, or the pre-academy back then, while I was kind of studying down here.
What did you study?
Started off engineering.
Oh, did you?
Because just like anyone in school, I kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do outside of rugby.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to have a backup plan. So said I love physics, because I did at the time. So they're like, why don't you try engineering? Tried it for a year and a half, but as soon as we were talking about the force that was going through a beam in the roof, I was away with the fairies going like, I really don't care. But yeah, did that for a year and a half, and then switched to commerce with finance and accounting. And the finance side is like I've just latched to and loved, like the concept of making money with money and investing and helping others kind of grow wealth and set themselves and families up. Like I actually love those ideas and being able to give back through that. So managed to finish that degree a few years ago now, and that's kind of hopefully what life after footy will be for me. But yeah, hopefully that's a while away.
Yeah. What have you done in your career to set yourself up, like financially? Like obviously that would have been a massive help for you. Like a lot of players struggle. They get the money, they spend the money.
It's just like, I guess, having a plan with it. Like, and I haven't done things perfectly. And in New Zealand, like, and especially within rugby, like you're always getting whispers of what everyone else is doing. Everyone's kind of buying a house. So I went down that road. Like my kind of first investment was buying a house here in Christchurch, and then otherwise I've just been trying to grow, like chuck small amounts at a share portfolio on the side and learn, and none of it's large amounts. Like it's not setting myself up to retire, but it's just like learning how all that stuff works. And I guess doing the degree, you can kind of share that with people and give people a little bit of perspective. And if you can afford to chuck $50 a week into a share portfolio or whatever you can a week, just to kind of get it going, get it started, then you see, oh, this year I put in $5,000 total, but then I earned $500. Like, oh, how good. Next year it'll double and whatever. And then it just starts to grow, and you start to see the effect of compound interest. This is probably starting to bore. People are probably starting to
Mate, the listeners have all spiked. They're all trying to work out how to make money. You must have big plans for your Newcastle wads of cash that are going to be coming in.
Nah.
2 years of massive coin. What's your plans with that money?
Yeah, just keep it growing. Like investing's boring, and it should be boring. Like it'll just go kind of into share portfolio, pay down debt. Like it's the beauty of having a home in New Zealand. Like it comes with a fair bit of debt, so you got to control that as well. But yeah, it'll just be ticking away in the background, I guess.
Yeah, and are you thinking long term? Like how long term's your sort of investments?
It's kind of geared towards retirement. Yeah. So rugby, you obviously got a limited lifespan, and then with your earnings while you're playing, hopefully they're kind of going up, and we're pretty lucky that we earn a decent level of income here in New Zealand, and the game's sufficient in that sense. But when you stop, your earnings go to zero. So there's kind of your investments and that kind of side of things and your forward planning need to be for 2 stages. So after rugby, getting you through that period of low income and finding your next career, and then obviously gearing up for retirement and setting yourself up. And hopefully I can do well enough in rugby, and then following rugby that we can kind of leave a bit for hopefully some kids running around one day and giving them something to get them going as well. That'd be kind of my dream financially.
Geez, once you start your financial company, you're going to be away. You've absolutely made a great sales there. Like I'd be signed. I feel like I've just had a one-on-one session with you for a little teaser, but that is impressive.
Yeah,
Life after rugby sorted.
Hopefully.
Oh, well, back to your rugby journey. Where were we? You made New Zealand 20s. You're the captain of New Zealand 20s. So you must have had to go from the wild card for New Zealand schools to being the captain of the under 20s. What was that pathway like?
It was just like learning and growing. Like the pivotal moment for me, obviously I was in the academies and everything was going well, but the pivotal moment for me was my first Canterbury under 19s tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Like I kind of had a bit of a breakout tournament and I think I scored a try from like 30 metres out. It's probably actually only 22, but for me like that's a decent effort to run one in from there. And then I think I got a double in that game off the bench. Oh. So like I things were just kind of going my way at that tournament, and that kind of led to the initial kind of under 20s camps, and then you just kind of go through that process, as well as obviously I mentioned the Crusaders Academy being back here learning, like Aaron Webb and the people that we've got down here at the time that were in the academy, like they do so much for your growth in terms of how to be a professional. And even when you go to those 20s camps, they're like, sit up the front of the room, make sure you're engaging, make sure you're answering questions to like, I guess, teach you how to put your best foot forward. And then, yeah, just from there, obviously, hard work and grafting away in the background.
Were you always a leader? Like, was that always part of who you were?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like through school, like I was lucky enough to captain sides, and I did a little bit of it at junior rugby as well. But I guess like I had to grow as a leader as well. Like I always initially thought it was just playing well and talking, and was somewhat it is, but like there's definitely now elements of like you got to empower others and bring other people up, and how you can, like let others find their voice to kind of grow the team. Like that's the real power of a good leader. And we've been lucky. The time that I've had at the Crusaders, like we've had some of the best leaders in the world, and I can say that pretty confidently. I think I'm probably biased, but yeah, we had Matt Todd, Kieran Reid, Sam Whitelock, Scooter, like Razor, like, and like we've had some of the best leaders in the world.
What did they all have in common? That group.
Every leader's different, and I've learned that. But like the way that they can empower others and kind of bring others up is really powerful. And even like the one leadership dynamic that I found really interesting was when Sam Whitelock was here, but Scooter was captain. Like, and to watch Sammy kind of still lead the way he would, and no matter like without like that title of being captaincy, but help Scooter and assist Scooter in his captaincy, like that was really quite a powerful lesson in leadership, I think, just to be able to do it from the background.
Yeah, the whole leadership group's just so important, eh? Like everyone sees the captain, but the crew underneath them or around them is just so important. And
even like Davey this year, like that's probably one guy that I should have said in that list before, like Davey's leadership this year, and with the leadership group that he had, the likes of Will Jordan and stuff, like leading from the background and just helping Davey excel, and saw that in his rugby. Like, geez, he was good for us.
Yeah, and you talk about empowering other players. I thought that's what Davey did so well. Yeah. He gave everyone an opportunity to lead different areas and handed off a lot of responsibility.
He was unbelievable at delegating. Like the amount of times like we'd run out to start a training, and then Davey would be in your ear like, do you mind doing this? Do you mind doing that? So like he had his fingerprint on everything, but from a group perspective, you see all these other voices stepping up, but it's actually Davey like initiating, getting like pushing guys forward, and like that kind of stuff's really empowering.
Yeah, and you always seem to nail your points whenever you speak in team meetings on the field. Was that something that you could do even when you're young, or have you sort of learnt that?
I've definitely learned to refine it. Like less is definitely more now. Like it's funny because I sit back and observe a little bit these days, and you see younger guys talk, and they've got an unreal point, and then they'll say it again, and then they'll say it again in a different way.
Yeah.
And that probably definitely was me to a T. Like you feel like, oh, I've got something good, I need to keep going. Yeah. But like the power of a short message and just getting to your point, and you think about it from the guys that are listening, the longer you talk, especially now we're all on TikTok, we're all on Instagram Reels, like your attention span is what, 7 seconds or something? As soon as you're talking for 30 seconds, you just dilute the message that you had at the start that was really good, because people, like myself, we just start to drift off because our attention span is just so low.
Yeah. How quickly can I get this message, or how short?
Yeah, and like, but it still has that same punch.
Yeah.
But I don't always get that right. Like,
You nail it. You're the guru. Hey? So then that 20s tournament, leading the country to a title.
Yeah,
pretty stacked,
that was Luke
right?
Jacobson. So I led the second year. So I was lucky enough to do 20s twice.
Oh, you did it twice.
Yeah.
And you didn't win it the year you captained.
Nah, so Luke Jacobson,
Bolter.
and we had a squad. Like, we had Will Jordan, Luke Jacobson, Asafo, Caleb Clark, Stevie Pettiford. Like, the list just kind of goes, Dalton, the list goes on.
And you were a year young then.
I was a year young. But we won that final by 50-something points over England. Like, that team, like, was just stupid.
Yeah.
It was seriously stupid.
Did you know anyone in that team was going to be a gun from then?
It felt like everyone was like, and Will Jordan, like, he's a generational player. Like, he's one of my good mates, but like, even at that level, like, he'd just touch the ball and go through. Like, it was just, you knew that he was going to be good. And then there was guys like,
I'll edit that out because we can't have Will hearing that.
No. He's already got a big enough head. And that's not even ego, that's just the size of the thing. But yeah, like, guys like Doltz and like Luke Jacobson and the fullback, like, they were just grafters, but really, really good at it, like, and physical. But yeah, you knew that a lot of those guys were going to be good. And then my second year was when I was captain, and we lost our semi-final to France in France.
Oh.
So that was cool. Like, being able to spend a month in France playing rugby at that kind of close to professional level, that was awesome.
Did you know as a captain that team wasn't as strong as the year before?
No, like, we were still a good team. And that semi-final against France, like, we were in it for 75 minutes. Like, there was a couple of pivotal moments right at the end that we just didn't fall on the right side of, didn't get the bounce of the ball, and that was the telling point. But that was still one of the coolest games I've ever played. Like, in Perpignan, the stadiums there, that I think they're like 15, 16,000, but it was full. They've got like bands in the crowd, like, the atmosphere that they're able to create at those games, like, they're still some of the best. Like, they're still some of the most memorable rugby that I've played.
They do it well, eh?
They do it very, very well.
It's cool. And then your pathway into the Canterbury side, that all happened relatively quickly from there, eh?
So my debut was after my first 20s year in 2017.
Oh, yeah.
So I played 20s 2017, 2018, but my involvement with the Canterbury NPC squad was literally just, if you want to come to training, you can. Like, I wasn't in the squad. I wasn't, but obviously, like, you tell a young guy, do you want to come to training? It's like, sure.
Every day.
Yeah, like, don't leave, you know? So that was cool. And obviously trained all right because we got an injury in the semi-final, and I managed to make my debut in the final of that 2017 year. But I was just a battering ram. Like, I did the Canterbury Under-19s again before I came into NPC, and over the first 4 or 5 weeks of the competition, we obviously had an issue with the breakdown and guys getting jackals. So I remember Glenn Delaney telling me at the time, like, you've just got a license. Training's not live, but you are. So if you get on the ball, like, guys are going to clean you out. And I was like, sweet. So Thursday kind of just became my game day. Like, I didn't have any game in the weekend. Like, my season was over in terms of rugby. So I was like, Thursday's my game day. I just go breakdown to breakdown to breakdown, trying to get turnovers. So I got hammered. And obviously the boys were getting pretty, like, they respected it.
Yeah.
Wow, I think they respected it. But they were getting like, this young guy is just coming in, like, going hard at our breakdown.
Yeah.
Like, get him. Basically, like, politely, get him. I'm sure in their huddles the language might have been a little bit different, but so yeah, like, and obviously did that all right to be able to get that debut in the final.
Yeah,
it was only 5 minutes. But
are you shitting yourself in a game like that? Final?
Not really. The game was decided by the time I kind of got out there, so it was just kind of get out there and make the most of it.
Yeah.
And we obviously won the title. That was the last time Canterbury won in 2017. So definitely got a little bit of a taste for it. And since then, we haven't quite been able to get the job done. So I'm definitely itching to get back there.
What do you put that down to? It's obviously considering the success of the Crusaders, Canterbury usually flows underneath it, but hasn't quite been that way.
Yeah, we've been good, but yeah, I don't really know what to put it down to because we've always had amazing teams, amazing talents, good culture, like all that stuff, but it's just winning those big moments. And I think what we're building this year is really exciting. It's definitely got that feel about it. And like I've said it in interviews and things before, after games, like what is the difference this year? And there is no secret sauce. It's just having fun with your mates. Like we're a really well-connected group. Everyone enjoys each other's company. Everyone's having a laugh, like all that, like going for coffees, all that stuff that seems really unimportant. But then you go out there on the field and it's like, I've got a genuine connection, genuine care for the mate either side of me. It's not like that hasn't been there, but I just think it's another level this year.
It's the captain, mate. What a leader.
Not me. Geez, we've got some guys. The guys running that off-field stuff. That's the point of difference. I'm not going to steal their credit.
Yeah, that's cool. And then your pathway into the Crusaders, like, was that far after?
So I had to spend a year on ice. So my first year playing for the Crusaders wasn't until 2020. So, but
did you have offers to go other clubs?
Yeah. So 2017 did a preseason with the Crusaders, and that was like deer in head, like this is unreal. But did the preseason. 2018 did the preseason. 2019 was the kind of year I'd kind of finished all my 20s stuff. I was like, right, I want to be playing Super Rugby. Like, this is obvious. All my mates were playing Super Rugby. Like, I lived with, at that point, like Josh Mackay, Will Jordan, and a couple other, like Will Tuckers. Like, we had a pretty stacked rugby flat.
Yeah.
But like, they were all playing Super Rugby, so I kind of felt like in my head, I'm like, I'm falling behind the eight ball here.
Comparison thing.
Yeah, and which is obviously a dangerous kind of road to go down. But like, I kind of felt like I was falling behind. But that 2019 year, I had a 1 year deal from the Blues, and they were kind of like, we'd love to sign you for longer, but we know you want to be a Crusader. Like, we'll sign you for 1 year to bridge that gap, and then you can, like, if you want to stay, you can stay. If you want to go, you can go. Obviously, got on the phone call to Razor, kind of said, I've got this deal. Like, what's going on? Well, through agents and whatnot, got this deal. Like, can you guys match? It's like, we can't. You can train for us with the year on like a replacement player, but like, we can't offer. Like, we still had Matt Todd, Kieran Reid, like our Jordan Taufua, like our loose forward department was fairly well sorted. But there was one kind of line from that coach's call that really kind of stuck with me, and you can use this in the future, was if you go to the Blues, we can't guarantee you that we'll have the space for you next year. Like, another guy's going to get your opportunity this year if he goes well. Like, and that was just a bit for me. It's like, I could go there, start, do everything I want to do, like, but I'll never get the chance to be a Crusader. And that was like the powerful bit for me, for a kid that's been raised here that just wants to be a Crusader. Like, that's what they've worked towards. Am I going a little bit early to give up on that dream? And that was ultimately what kept me here. And that year, kind of on ice, training with Crusaders but not playing, like, that really set me up for 2020. Like, it gave me that year of full professionalism. It gave me that year of training, watching Toddy, watching Rito, like watching those guys be professionals and how they prepare themselves for games, what they do, the conversations that you have on top of that. Like, that's what prepared me for 2020 to be able to kind of play and start and go from there.
That's so cool, because you mentioned you felt like you were falling behind, everyone else was making it.
Yeah.
You've got this opportunity to make it and be playing in a Super Rugby side, and you've still decided to stay and wait your time to be the Crusader that you always wanted to be. It's pretty cool.
Like, and that was just me. Like, I always wanted to be a Crusader, and ultimately that's what it came down to. Like,
yeah,
like, obviously the Blues are another great franchise. Like, they've had a lot of success as well, but yeah, not being able to be a Crusader would be something that would just always niggle away at me, I think.
It's a great line. I'm definitely going to use it. I don't know if many kids would still do it though. Like, when you get a full contract somewhere else, guys are taking that more often than not. There's not many who will have the patience to wait it out, but it's cool that.
Yeah, and you've always got to, I guess, think of the bigger picture in your career.
Yeah.
And
Just very hard to do when you're 19, 20, 21.
100%, especially when there's like money on the table as well. You're like, the first time you've ever seen a decent sized number, and you're like, oh, like,
yeah, go on.
Yeah. It's probably before I started the finance and realised what money actually meant. So that's probably a good thing. I was still engineering then.
Oh, and then the following year you do get a contract.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. So then 2020, I was on contract. I think it was a 1 year deal, but it was kind of like a 2 because I had that guarantee earlier.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then obviously my debut was against Waratahs at round 1 of 2020. Went pretty good.
Was Matt Todd still there?
Nah, so
he'd left that
year.
left.
Oh, he was in Japan. Then his last year playing was 2019 in New Zealand. But yeah, went pretty good. Was playing good rugby, leading the tackle count, which at that time, which was what I thought was the big tick.
The goal, yeah.
That was the goal. That was the big tick. And then it was an interesting year though. Like I remember, it must have been round 6. We were playing the Sunwolves in Brisbane because this was the start of COVID and before anyone really knew what it was. I tore my hamstring off the bone. I remember walking back into the change rooms. Like, I was devastated. I was like, I've just kind of started my breakout, like started to kind of reach some of these goals that I really want to start achieving. Like I'm happy with how I'm playing. And then I was like I'm cooked. Like I'm probably done for the year. Like someone else is going to get this opportunity. Then it becomes like you lose that control. Like at least when you're playing, you've, I guess, in control of your fate a little bit. But I got incredibly lucky that COVID was kind of around that 8-10 weeks, which meant I only missed 1 or 2 games at the other end and could finish that year playing with the boys and kind of finishing that kind of fairy tale debut year, I guess.
True. And then was it the following year you have your major knee injury?
Yeah, major shoulder.
Oh, shoulder.
So yeah.
Oh, shoulder.
So that was 2021.
Yeah.
So I played 3, I was in the 3rd game of the season again. And I felt like I was playing some real good footy again, and then just had one awkward ball carry, shoulder tore itself out of its socket, and then I was on ice for the rest of the year. But yeah, I guess injuries no one ever wants them, but if you can kind of utilise them and be patient with them, which is so, like, I'm not even going to pretend, like that's the hardest part. Like you've got to stay really patient and just keep working away in the background and trust yourself that you can set yourself up to come back and keep playing well. Like that's the hardest part. And I mentioned at the start, like that then increased a little bit of anxiety and nervousness around, like, geez, am I going to get injured again? And so you kind of have to navigate that coming back as well, which isn't necessarily easy.
But you managed to get your 7th spot.
Yeah, back started 7 that 2022 year now. So yeah, but yeah, I was really fortunate. I waited. I could have come back, I think, with like 1 or 2. I could have raced to come back with like 1 or 2 games of NPC left.
Oh yeah.
But with it being my shoulder, and that's basically all I use on a rugby field. Like I was like, I just need to get this right rather than rush back and have it constantly niggle with me. But the other side of that was meant that I got a full preseason to get my confidence back, to play, to, like, you know, just go through the motions of getting back to that performance level. And you've got a whole preseason to prove yourself why you should be picked through by the coaches, and a couple of preseason games to kind of make that statement again.
Yeah. And I guess one thing that came in a lot in the questions was around never getting a look in with the All Blacks. Did you have much feedback around your career when you're going so well for the Crusaders around what you needed to do, or were you ever close? How did you feel from that side of things?
It's always an interesting one, and not with direct feedback, but I've always known that I've had to be a little bit more physical.
Yeah.
Like, you can get through a mountain of work in a game, but you need to have those impactful moments in a game to go to that next level. So, and that's what it is for the All Blacks. So you can't play test test match rugby unless you're having those impactful moments. So that was the bit that I needed to develop in my game, grow my attack as well as my D. But even on D, like, how many dominant tackles can I make? Yes, I might make 25, but if none of them are dominant or only like one of them's dominant, then you're not actually being that. Yes, you're helping the team, but you're not impacting the team and not influencing the outcome all that much.
Yeah.
So it's just, how can I be more impactful in the game? That's probably the point of difference. And I feel like probably this year was the year that, like, I've actually really transitioned to being a lot more impactful in some of my moments, and it's through growing the attack, but also just being a little bit more physical on D. And yeah, I guess that's the goal, really.
Yeah, so was that just your self-awareness, or was that feedback that you'd got?
A little bit of both. Like, obviously, I was coached by Razor, and he was kind of given, all the feedback was through our super coaches. So whether that was stemming from the All Blacks, I'm not 100% sure, but Razor being Razor and the coach that he is, and now the All Blacks coach, like, I'm sure the feedback would have been fairly aligned.
Yeah, when he got the call up the year, were you hoping he was going to pick that, take him?
But like, yeah, he was a big part of, like, my growth here at the Crusaders, and obviously he was the one that gave me that shot back in 2017 to come in for the preseason and I guess show a little bit of trust in me from an early age, which was, I guess, a little bit of a statement from him as well.
Yeah. Did you play the North versus South?
Yeah. So that was a cool game.
You're always in the frame, like you're always like the almost third or fourth type.
Yeah, like, I'd like to think I was never like too far off. Like, and obviously I played that fixture for All Blacks 15 as well. Like, it's and now obviously I'm going overseas and kind of starting that next part of my career. That's probably the one thing that you're not giving up on, but you are leaving behind.
Yeah.
But yeah, that when thinking about that for that decision in particular, like, I actually reflected a lot and just looked back on what I have achieved here for the Crusaders, achieved for Canterbury, and I am just really proud of that. And that's probably the first moment where I have actually reflected, I guess, because you're always just chasing and you get caught up in chasing that next thing and what's next. So that was kind of a cool moment for me to actually just sit back and actually be proud of what I have done rather than always focusing on where can I go, where can I like get to. And when I look back at my career when I'm 40, 50, 60, like, I've got some amazing memories that I'll cherish. And this is only the halfway point in my career, hopefully. Hopefully we go over to Newcastle and kind of make an impact over there.
How many more years do you reckon you've got?
Wow.
Your body's in good nick.
I'd like to keep playing just as long as possible, really. Like, if I could get to that 35 number or so, but geez.
What are you now?
27, going on 28 next year.
Yeah.
So if I can play for another
deceptively young
7-8 years, well, the hair's gone, but we've lost that dream.
Well, that's a running joke that basically comes up every bus trip. Is your hair loss, and the boys just love rinsing it. How was that for you? Was that hard for you to deal with?
Nah, not really. Like, I've never been one to really care about, I guess, my image from that point of view.
Yeah.
But it's funny, now I'm the guy on the bus that's giving other guys shit. Braden Nenor, he's the next to go. So I'm shifting. I'm now shifting all that chat that's come my way onto other people. But I kind of just embrace it, and then now you kind of look back, because when everyone's making those jokes, you're kind of like, well, it's not that bad. Like, geez, it's not that bad. It's just a lad's chat, it's just exaggeration. And then, geez, you look back at photos from last year and certain angles, and you're like, geez, it was actually getting pretty bad.
When was the conscious decision to just say, nah?
Conscious decision is definitely not the way to put it. We're at India do for Canterbury last year. The hair clippers came out. I was kind of like, oh, yeah, go on. Like, all good. This will be a bit of a laugh. So that was all good. Got it buzz cut right off. Got home, saw Soph. I was shaking, like, how's she going to react? Like, what's she going to think? She was like, oh yeah, it looks good. I was like, sweet. That's no more paying for haircuts. I can do this myself.
So do you just run it through yourself now?
Yeah, run it through myself, just the hair clippers without a blade. And
Oh, mate, you've cracked it.
I know.
Okay, well, we have gone to the Instagram for some questions, and I sent you a few of them. You got plenty. You've got some quite weird followers, to be fair.
I think that's all your following, not mine.
A lot of them came in around the tackle. Where'd you learn to tackle from like that? What's your mindset going into a tackle? All these sort of questions.
Yeah, obviously kind of touched on it a little bit like back that year when we were not so good at first 15 level and just kind of grew from there. But I don't really have a mindset going into a tackle. Like for me, it's you just want to contribute to a team, and that's probably the easiest way to do it is on defense, where it's not, well, there is obviously an element of skill, but it is a lot more about your mindset and just working hard, getting it back up off the ground and doing it again and again.
Well, you do it better than anyone, mate. About the All Blacks, you've gone through all that. What kept you motivated when you missed out on being picked in the 23 at the start of the season?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. It probably goes all the way back. I can probably talk a wee bit here around last year and not playing rugby that I was necessarily proud of towards the end of NPC. And it was just a constant battle of, I guess I was getting that feedback around I need to be more physical, be a bit more impactful. And I was trying so hard, but not really seeing any pay in it. And ultimately that kind of led me down a path of not really enjoying rugby as much as I used to, because you're putting all this effort in, you're training so hard, you're doing all these extra sessions. Like I was on the dojo like once or twice a week in the mornings, like tackling, doing a skill that like I know that I'm good at, like and it's already my point of difference, but I need to get better at it. Then you double down on that in the afternoons and do more, but I just couldn't seem to get that gain. So then you're going into games and you're overthinking, you're thinking too much about each skill and you're not like relaxed and playing. So like I remember the game against Bay of Plenty, that semi-final, we lost and I was gutted that we lost, like gutted not to make the final. But there was a part of me that was like relieved the season was over. And I got home and I talked to Soph and I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like I'm just not loving it like I used to. And that led to a conversation with Pens over the summer, and a lot of respect for Pens for this conversation, because geez, it must have been hard. He told me that I wasn't going to get re-signed following this year, and like I kind of sat there in that conversation, and it didn't come as a surprise. Like most people would be like gutted, but I was just like, I sat there and I agreed with them. I was kind of like, yeah, fair. Like I haven't earned, like if I was in your position, if I was and it's obviously not necessarily Pens' decision, it's the wider training staff, the wider coaches, the organisation, general manager, like everyone's involved with that. But I don't disagree with any of you guys. Like if I was in your position, I wouldn't be re-signing me either. So that kind of led me to, right, if this is going to be my last year for the Crusaders, it doesn't matter, just enjoy it. Like just, if you're playing, if you're not playing, actually just enjoy it. Enjoy turning up for training, enjoy being around your mates. Like I was some of my best mates in this team, like just enjoy that element of it. And if that's your last year, like great, at least you've had an amazing year, you've had fun, and for me, I saw a quote the other day that just summarizes this, like unhappiness is caused when your expectations don't meet your current reality. So I had, my expectations were like through the roof, like I want to be here. Coming into this season, I just got rid of all expectations, and it just unlocked me to actually just enjoy it, be happy with the position I was in, and go back to being that little boy around, like he'd do anything to play for the Crusaders. Yeah, I'm here like having my expectations are too high and not enjoying it. So it just led me to be able to enjoy it. And on the back of that, like it meant like I had better relationships with Toddy, and because he was the one that would have to come and tell me that I was not playing. And I always thought I had to be pissed off at that. Like I was always under the impression like I need to be gutted and I need to like be angry that I'm not playing, because like that shows that I care. But realistically, like it's actually the opposite. Like if you can just take that on the chin and be sweet, like what can I do for the team now? It actually makes you a way better teammate, and it, like, you don't go through that, like, yes, you go through that emotional roller coaster in the background, but you're actually a way better teammate. You turn up for the team, and that's what shows that you really care. So I think that's what really kept me happy at the start of the year. Like, all I was focused on was being a good teammate, like putting my best foot forward for the team. That led to me training well. I knew I'd get an opportunity at some stage. Like, I knew throughout the year, like, I'd get played at some stage, and like, I'd just have to make the most of that opportunity. But even going into that Western Force game this year, like, I was happy. I was like, right, this is my opportunity to go, but I didn't overpressure myself around I need to perform. I kind of lost that expectation of I need to be starting every week, which led to me playing well, which led to me starting every week. So it was like a back to front way to look at it.
That's cool, man.
But all focused around just enjoying the moment, being happy and being more present with it all.
Yeah.
And that was like a big turning point for me. And I had some moments that I'll cherish like forever. I remember talking to Christian Leo Willie at the end of the year, and I've got so much respect for him, always have. Like, he's a great player, but he's a great man as well. And he kind of saw a different side to me this year, which he kind of earned a lot of respect for. And there was one conversation that really hit me hard, and was like, geez, I'm like actually stoked with the way that I carried myself this year.
Yeah. Well, like, one thing that stood out for me was like when you handled that non-selection. It was probably the best I've ever seen someone do it. Like, someone who'd been in that jersey for so long, now in the non-23, having to run the team on the Thursday, and you just did that better than I've ever seen anyone do it before. And I remember, I can't remember who it was, but they were saying how much respect they had for Tim Bateman compared to Kieran Reid, and like, even both incredible players, but Timmy was never playing, but still saw them on the same level. I think that's probably a little bit what Christian was meaning around for you, like, saw you at a place when you probably could have, you had a right to be pissed off and not be the guy that you were, but I guess that just showed the character of who you truly were, and people feed off that, and to see you then get the success off the back of it was a pretty cool year for you.
Yeah, it was. And with it now definitely being kind of my last year at the moment for the Crusaders, like, it just it fills me with pride around that side of it, and the things that it did for the relationships that I built. Like, me and Toddy have always had a really good relationship, but being able to handle that selection conversation without kind of, not necessarily putting it back on him, but having that resentment meant that, like, our relationship could just kind of go to that next level, and the feedback that you get in return was just, like, you'd work with each other a lot more rather than there being a friction point. So yeah, like that, and that selection conversation is always hard, because if I know at your guys' end, from a coach's level, you don't want to be having that conversation. Like,
the worst time.
Yeah. Like, so what? Like, why as a player should I make that even harder for you? But like, and you're still going to go home and you're going to be gutted that you're not playing. Like, there's always going to be an element of that, but if you can handle that with your support network rather than pushing that out onto other people, and I guess taking the team. Will Jordan also said one quote to me as well that stuck, was there's no sad guys, so there's no room in any kind of professional environment for anyone to be dragging the chain, dropping the lip and moping around. And that was like any time where I kind of did have those feelings like I wanted to, like, not handle it that way, like, I'd just be like, well, there's no sad guys here, like, just get on with it. And that was pretty powerful.
Oh, mate, what an answer to a question. That's one of the greats. Okay, next one. What age did you start getting hairs on your chest?
About the same age where the hairs started falling off my head. I remember I was like, 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Like, I was always...
Big hairy chest.
Yeah, big hairy chest, unfortunately.
Good on you, hey? When does he anticipate he'll play for the Red Bulls? Is that what they're called, the Red Bulls?
Yeah, so they've just kind of finalised all their rebranding, so the Newcastle Red Bulls.
Oh, yeah.
But we've got a job to do here for Canterbury first, so make the final here. That'll be the 25th of October, all going well, and then we'll be straight on the plane heading over, and I guess be available
Straight into it.
Whenever whenever they need me.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Won't be too long for the Newcastle fans to see that.
I'm looking forward to it though. Like
It'll
be fun.
Yeah.
Red Bull gives you wings, so you'll see me flying.
Okay. Did you really consider signing in Turkey for a free hair transplant?
Nah.
Probably guess who that's from.
Yeah. I think Braden Enor, we might meet him in Turkey, and I'll
Two
push
for
him,
one.
I'll push him that way. I don't necessarily need one anymore. So's happy, so I'm happy.
Okay. Favorite golf course you've played at overseas?
I haven't actually been. My overseas golf is very, very limited. Like, most of my travel has been with rugby. So, under 20s, I wasn't brave enough to take my golf clubs. I'm sure that in France there would have been some pretty cool golf courses. But Joondalup, we went over and played in Perth. That was a pretty cool course. But I played some pretty cool ones in New Zealand. Like I'm lucky enough to know a member up at Tarahiti who's taken me out there, which is an amazing part of New Zealand. Like that course is cool. And Te Arai as well, like obviously in a similar location, but geez, we've got some pretty good ones on our back door.
You have a few over in Europe that you'll be keen to get to.
We're obviously pretty close to Scotland, so I know Scotland's got some pretty cool golf courses, so I'll have to get
weeks.
Get food to get on the train and meet them over there.
One thing you'd like to be known as?
I think just hardworking and respected. Like, I remember the Hall of Fame events and how the Crusader Hall of Famers just remember they all just want to be respected by their teammates, and I think that's probably the big thing for me. Like just being known for working hard and earning the respect of your teammates through that hard work. Like that's the cool feeling for me.
Certainly done that, mate. Hey, nailed it. Okay, hardest player to tackle?
Oh, geez, there's a few.